Are we live?
Hi.
Hey! Welcome to Calling Them Out for a second time. Tonight we are live from the Calling Them Out page and Palacio Baseball page. And also we're live on TikTok for the first time on in the history of, the Calling Them Out. Now, we said that it was, Season 3, Episode 10, the last episode of the season.
Yep.
And tonight we got Mr. Brian Fisher in the controls. And we got a special guest tonight, Mr. Greg Matthews. Maybe you don't know a lot about Mr. Greg Matthews, but he's in charge of, or he's involved with USA Prime here in Maryland. And we were talking about a little bit about baseball. Your son, comes to me for hitting, and that's another story that I want to go. But first, let's talk a little bit about USA Prime in Maryland and how you guys got here into Maryland. So can you repeat that?
Sure. So we were with Rogue Baseball in Mount Airy up until the end of our 12U season.
Okay.
Rogue only had the smaller field. So once we transitioned to the bigger field, we need to find an organization.
Rogue Baseball is in the north of Maryland.
It's in Mount Airy.
Mount Airy?
Just outside of Frederick.
Yeah, that's up there.
Yeah. So we started looking at different organizations that would best suit our players. We wanted to get our players some exposure as they prepared for high school, as they try to further their career in baseball with college. So we were trying to figure out what organization was going to be best for our players to be able to get them out there. And we started interviewing different organizations, and at the time, USA Prime had the most to offer to our players.
That's weird because here, Wow Factor was with Coach Giles, of course, was pretty big, and then with Jimmy Payton, 5-star, was good. Who's in charge of USA Prime?
So USA Prime is a national organization. They're out of Texas.
Yeah, I know it's a national organization.
Mm-hmm.
Just I don't know who's in charge, and usually I'm the baseball guy here. And when I don't know who the person in charge is, that worries me because I know that you guys have one good team, but the other teams are not that quality in the past or present. I know that your 14U team is just up there, right? It's ranked in the nation. Your guys are doing a really good job, but you guys are doing a good job.
Yeah. Well, we do have a lot of support from. So Maryland falls under the Northeast. So USA Prime Northeast is where we fall under. So Alex Silverman is the director of baseball operations.
Hey, hi, Alex. Nice to meet you.
Yep. So he's the director of baseball operations. So that's kind of who we reach out to when we have any needs. He reaches out to us to see what he can do to assist us and get our boys out there. He's helped us get into some tournaments as to whether or not we were good enough to get in some of these tournaments.
Yeah.
So he's been a big help to us in getting into some of these tournaments and trying to get some of the exposure out there.
Yeah, we were talking about, and you keep bringing that word exposure, right?
Sure.
So when 13 and 14, you try to get that exposure for them, tournaments, but the exposure locally is just to get those kids into the private high schools or whatever good program they need to have, right?
That's correct. That was our only focus, 13 and even 14U right now, is our only focus is to get them prepared for high school. So we brought 2 former college players onto the coaching staff to bring in some college level.
What are their names?
So we have Chris and we have Zach.
Okay.
So both of them, Chris played Penn State and Zach, I believe, played at DeSalle.
Yeah. He's a Zach Sub, right?
Zach Stubb. Mm-hmm.
The Stubb, yeah.
Yep, and Chris Fronde.
Yeah. I mean, Zach came here, so I met him.
You met him? Okay.
Yeah, I met him, and a really, really good, knowledgeable coach that you guys have. He's a big help. So, I was kind of impressed with, his knowledge in the game, and
Very knowledgeable.
especially with hitting and pitching, because it looks like he's the
What he
pitching
did.
guy, right?
Yeah, that's what he did in college. He was a pitcher. Frande, he played center field. I hear one of the best center fielders that there were. Off the crack of the bat, he knew where to be, when to be. So he was just very good with that. So they bring a lot of experience.
I was really good also, but that was back in the day. We're talking about 80s and 90s. Now baseball has changed so much that sorry, I didn't want to.
So our focus was to get these kids prepared for high school. We want to play the best competition that we could find, so that way we could challenge them. So that way when they walk in the door to high school tryouts, they've already had tremendous pressure on them of playing really good players, which hopefully would be equivalent to a sophomore, junior, or senior in high school. So we travel a lot in an effort to try and find that top competition.
That top competition. No, I understand. I mean, a lot of people, they don't understand that. And the 14U for a lot of the development guys, is just get on the gym, get stronger, get faster. But they don't understand that when you got a really good, talented kid, good, talented player, they're going to be in the lineup.
Right. Yes.
They're going to be facing guys that they are 4 year older than the guys that, we have right now. So you got a 15-year-old playing against an 18-year-old, and they need to see that velocity. They need to see that competition if they want to start and be on that lineup. And a lot of people, they just don't see the value on that. My job here in Maryland is same as you. We travel a lot. We face at least 2 or 3 tournaments that I can see who's gonna be starting from freshman and who's gonna not make it, or who's a private guy, private school guy, or who's a public school guy.
Sure.
Also, are you guys promoting more private school or public school?
So we're not really promoting either or.
I mean, I'm pushing my guys to go to private school. I mean, they're better programs. They're more focused on their basic team. They're more structured on the basic team. When one of my guys get into Georgetown Prep, the Matha, St. John's, Carver Hall, Loyola, Spalding,
Right.
not to take Curly or MIA or MIAB, any of those schools, I know that they're going to be structured, they're going to be worked on, and they're going to be developed.
Yes.
So that's the way. Well, some schools, they just want to win, they don't want to develop. But I don't want to get there because we got Brian here, so he's going to get mad at me if I start mentioning schools and name that they're focusing on winning and not on the developing. And don't get me wrong, they're developing 12, 13 guys.
Yes.
But the other 20 that they're in the bench, they're not getting what they need.
And that's why we do put a lot of pressure on our boys at practice and in games because, like you just said, high schools are carrying 20, 25 kids on the roster.
Yeah, 30. How much Spalding got last year? 26 or 30, something like that?
Yeah, it's closer to around
On
30,
the roster. So so you're not wrong there.
You have 9 positions on the field.
Yeah.
So our focus has been to challenge our players, and we want them to be successful. We want them to be one of those 9 players on the field. Not just make your high school team, but actually play on your high school team.
Yeah, having a split squad, like, because you get 3 or 4 kids that they're going to high school, and then you get 7 or 8 that they're not going to high school. How you balance?
Yeah, so we have
that?
We have a roster of 13 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So before technical difficulties, we have 3 class 29s. So we have 3 high school players. So we still have a roster of 10 players right now for early season to keep our 8th graders, our 2030 class, still playing early season. And then if we need to, we can filter in a player or 2 depending on the tournament. If we need to add some additional players.
Why USA Prime? Why to go why a team like 12, 13 that they're looking for an organization, why they should go to USA Prime?
So USA Prime does a tremendous amount with social media. So if you go onto their Instagram, you go onto their Facebook page, there's 10 stories a day.
Yeah, that's a problem that we had to go to them.
Yes.
You know what they provide to us, because you know, you can find my post, in social media, and I just blast everybody. But I have never seen a post of USA Prime before.
Sure. So some of the other things that they were offering is some showcase specific for the players at their facilities. I think O-liners just did one with PBR.
I mean, everybody does that.
Yeah.
You know, What Factor does, O-liner. I do it here all the time with the pro guys and with the college guys. That's something that if you don't provide that, you're not gonna get any good kids with you.
Yeah. So under the Northeast umbrella, I think there are 50 some teams is what they have total underneath that Northeast umbrella. So they have a lot of contacts as well. They're putting a lot of kids in front of college coaches. They have a lot of connections with the college coaches because of the amount of players that they're working with, mostly out of that New Jersey area. But they're trying to bring that into Maryland as well.
Isn't that the job for the high school guys to promote their high school players to go and play for college, or is that goes under the travel ball, coaches to get them into college? What, Brian, you've been in baseball. I know you, and I know that I have coached your kids since 13, 14, and I see his development now. Do you rely on your high school to get the college recruits, or are you solely going into, well, the Caps are Spalding, that everybody knows that. So are you relying on Tommy to get the recruiting guys for your son?
No, I mean, I think I don't doubt Tommy at all. I think
No, we're not talking about that. It's just
Yeah.
because Tommy's is traveled
Yeah.
with API at Spalding,
gotcha.
right? That they're bringing. Are you doing it because 70% of the kids that I know, they have done it themselves, even they are under that umbrella, right? Mm-hmm. So is the travel ball team, travel ball coach, the high school or the parent? What is the percentage that I seen the parents getting probably 60% of the time going to the camps, going to the things? I don't see the travel ball doing a lot of the recruitment for the kids, but I do see a lot of the coaches going to the high school to see the games on at least on Mondays when they're free, because I know during summer and during fall is where the college coaches are free to go and see all the talent around, but they're getting lazy.
Right.
They only go to the national events. They go to the Future Stars. They go to the WWBA, the first 3 games, and then you don't see anything, because I was at the finals in the WWBA this year, and there were maybe 2 scouts there.
I mean, I can tell you that for summer ball at least, where I've had the most communication with Tommy, his whole focus is getting the kids in front of the right colleges, and he's always communicating with the parents about, we could go here and play in front of these colleges, or here this weekend and play in front of these colleges. What do you guys want to do? So that's I can imagine that's like priority number 1 for him, and he's very collaborative about which colleges we're gonna pursue on which weekends.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean,
I think it's a challenge for the college coaches to get out to a lot of high school games, just because the colleges are playing, during the same time.
the recruiting is during summer and during fall ball.
Yes.
I mean, during high school season, it's just for development for the kids and to test their skills against other players.
Yeah, so I think it's travel ball and where you go and play. I think it's also going to these camps.
Yeah,
that
the camps
college-
I was gonna just mention that. I think that you have to go if you want to play baseball. You gotta choose 4 or 5 schools that you really like.
Yes.
That you think that is a good fit for you.
But you need to be realistic.
Yeah, no. You gotta have 4 or 5 schools that you know that you're gonna get into.
Yes.
And that you're a good fit for that school to go to.
Yeah.
If it
Everybody's
works,
going to Tennessee, right?
yeah. Well, not now because he's in San Francisco now, so I don't know where that university is gonna go now
sure.
because that changed direction. But yeah, everybody wants to go to LSU, Alabama.
Yeah. They should be going to some D1, some D2 schools, even some D3 schools for some of these players. And, go to those camps, get seen by the coaches, especially, young. If you can get in front of these college coaches young and you impress them, they're going to follow you through high school and up until the time that, if they're ready to make an offer to you, they're going to make an offer to you as soon as they can.
One of the things that I know USA Prime always bring really good, teams to WBA and the summer circuit for them is really heavy, but it's just one team. It's only 25 players, and the organization is too big.
Yes.
So you cannot rely on just an organization to do the job for you. And yeah, you can pick and choose some of the colleges, but if you don't have a person inside your team, like API has with Tommy or we got with Coach G, that they can go to the college and the colleges actually are going to listen. They know they have the talent and they're going to bring the college guys to you to see your talent. That's really difficult to accomplish. So
yeah. But if you don't have that, that's where you need to get yourself out there.
No, I understand. I mean, totally. So my question to you is how USA Prime are going to help those kids here in Maryland to get promoted at the time, because if you don't make one of the top teams, what are we talking about?
Sure.
We are just getting into a big ocean right now where you have to swim with a lot of the fish right there, right?
Right.
And then you have to be the big fish, right? So that's kind of hard because they can pull anybody around the nation. How the kids in Maryland are going to be seen?
Yeah, and it's mostly out of their New Jersey facility. Their connections with the college coaches, I know that they're bringing those college coaches into their facility. They're running camps out of their own facility with the college coaches running those camps.
To go and see the kids from USA Prime,
USA
Maryland,
Prime.
New Jersey, New York.
Yep.
Everything
Anything
is
that falls under the Northeast umbrella.
How big is Northeast umbrella for the USA Prime?
So it's 50-some teams, I believe, between Maryland and New Jersey.
That's it? Maryland, New Jersey?
That's it.
So those 2 states?
I think they might have some teams out of New York.
Okay.
But definitely New Jersey and Maryland.
Good. I know that they're doing a really good job. You guys are promoting and you got put in Maryland, in a good position right here. I think that there's some organization like API is doing it. You guys are doing it. Coach G, of course, with the all-liners. They have a strong presence, everywhere, and they're doing a really good job also. So Maryland right now is in a pretty good hands with, the teams and the people that they're running. The team, they know what they're doing. So I'm really happy with the way that I see our kids developing, going to a better tournaments. Finally, somebody like you guys, like Coach G, going and face the competition in the nation. Don't be afraid to go out there and to compete against the best talent. So I think that opened my eyes. Like, you guys are doing the right thing.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to go out there and fail too, because when you're seeing a 14-year-old that's throwing 89, 90 miles an hour, you don't typically see that around here.
Yeah, well, you don't see that competition. But if we don't make it to the Final Four, I'm just, I don't know. I'm just, Brian, why are you laughing? You think that I'm gonna throw away a 14-year kid out of the team because we didn't win because of him? Yeah. Come on. But, I have done it like 4 times, but.
I mean, everybody wants to win, But when you're putting your players in those situations, you're building your players. You're getting them more experience. You're getting them prepared for the next level to go face that senior. When they're a freshman.
What is the hardest thing to control on a 14U team?
Emotions.
For the players
For the
or for the
players.
parents?
Well, both.
Okay.
Both. But we have dogs on our team. We have very compassionate players that don't want to fail. They want to be very successful. And there's times when, they wear it on their sleeve and, sometimes the emotions get the best of them. My son included, many of the players. So, in us as coaches, it's difficult to try to manage that because we don't want to tell them, to don't want to win, don't want to be successful, don't go out there and, play your hardest and then not get upset.
How difficult is to get good competition here locally?
We don't play many 14U tournaments around here.
Yeah.
So we have moved on.
I know I have winning all, so yeah.
Yeah. we've moved on to where if we're playing a local tournament, we're aging up. So we're playing, 15U. Sometimes, we've been asked to play in 16U tournaments.
Yeah. It's 15U is a waste of time, to be honest with you. Nobody plays 15U. There is maybe a handful of tournaments for the 15U. If you're gonna play up, you gotta go to 16U to see some kind of competition. And even though 16U teams here, there's a lot of B and C teams here that you're not gonna find a good competition. But 16U playing against 14U is always a good matchup.
Yeah, we played 2 15U tournaments in the fall. One at MSI, just outside of Philadelphia. I think there was 12, 13 teams.
You
in
guys
that.
won it?
We won that.
Yeah, because MSI, and I haven't played an MSI tournament that I have lost yet. So,
And then we played Exposure in Baltimore in the fall. There were 16 teams in that. We won that one.
yeah, that exposure is
So
it's so hard to. I mean, you wanna support exposure. You wanna support PBR here locally because those are the organization that they're gonna be doing the showcases and the guys that you want to support locally. But they let everybody just go to that tournament. I mean, we went to that tournament in Virginia for the 14U. There were 26 teams, and
yeah,
it was just a showcase, 3 or 4 games, whatever. It was just a joke.
Yeah.
We outscoring people like 43 to 3 rounds or whatever. It was just not good competition, and I brought the national team.
right.
I brought all the guys because I thought that tournament was going to be something else, and then when we found out that there
Wasn't what
wasn't,
you thought it was gonna be.
at the 14U level, of course.
Sure,
I'm talking about.
sure. And I know Kyle from Exposure is trying to, get it to be the most competitive that he can. So I know he tries to do a good job with, trying to get the teams there, trying to set up, good competitive games when he's setting up the schedule and things. He's trying not to, set up the best team with the worst team. So he's trying to make the games competitive. and
No,
do a
I
good
understand. I mean, once you lose a game, you go to the bracket, and then you keep.
And yeah, and that's the one thing I do like about the way Exposure does it is you can't hold your aces.
Yeah, you got to throw it quick. You
till
got to
Sunday.
win.
Yeah, because if
You
you
gotta
don't
win
win, you don't play Sunday.
Yeah, it's a showcase. It's a showcase. Well, all depends because he got 2 formats, right? The 1BS format that he got is a showcase. It's only 3 games or 4 games or whatever. You play and you keep playing the better competition. You keep winning, and then once you lose 1 game, then the competition drop like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, like in pool play, your first game, you're in a pod.
Yeah, you gotta win it. Yeah.
You got to win it, and then the second game of the other 2 teams within that pod, if we win our first game, we play the winner of the game from the other two teams in that pod.
Yeah.
And then the two losers play each other. So you have to win in order to get to Sunday, and you can't hold aces back.
So how Greg Matthews connect with Palacios baseball? That was a big surprise.
Was it?
Yeah.
Why?
Having the U.S. Prime, knowing the that I'm working with Coach G,
Sure.
all liners and all that. Having you guys, especially you, coming to me was a big surprise when you reach out. So why Palacios baseball?
Well, I will start with saying that, like we're an open book.
Yeah.
We don't have anything against anybody. We're willing to play with, other teams. We're willing to practice with other teams. We're willing to work with other coaches.
Yeah.
But, my son had a struggle from the small field to the big field. Timing was off. He was so far out in front.
Oh, I know.
And I tried working with him. I had another trainer that was trying to work with him, and he kept on hearing coaches, trainers say, "You're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong," but he wasn't really understanding that. So, in talking to some folks, from friends of ours, they said, "Hey, go see Juan. He has all the technology."
Yep.
So, first time we came here, you hooked him up to all the technology, and after each swing, you're stopping them, and you're showing them on the big screen. And I still remember, getting in the truck that night and him saying, "Dad, I finally understand what I was doing wrong because I was able to see it, not just hear it and not understand it, but to physically see it on the big screen of what I was doing wrong."
Yeah, one of the big parts of the kids right now is that they have to see themselves, and they're doing the autocorrect, right? And then for Mr. Colton, it was a big throw because he was opening the hip, and it was going a lot of things that we needed to stop, just redo the swing, do some specific things with his swing, and then
Yeah.
I can't believe how changed he is on the development on that, right? So
Completely changed. I think when we first started, we were seeing exit velocities like low to mid 70s, and now we're mid to upper 80s that we're seeing.
yeah, we're almost 90.
Yeah.
we're getting 90. I mean,
And for a small kid,
it's been for your son. It's been in 2 months. It's been 10 miles per hour. On the exit below, but forget about the exit below. It's just the consistency hitting the ball, the backspin to the middle now, the repeatedness.
Yep.
His swing is really repeatable. Right now, he's understanding the swing. He's seeing, the big screen. They're seeing what's happening with the viewpoint. He understanding where, he's and the big thing about him is that he has just adjust himself to his swing.
yes.
And he's understanding his swing. So I'm expecting really big things for him this season.
Yeah, and like you just said, it's got to be repeatable.
You got to be
It's
repeatable.
got to
Yeah.
be repeatable because when we take him out of the cage and we put him in game situations, he still has to be able to repeat the same thing.
Yeah, I'm just asking because, on the Palacio Development Program, I do a lot of things because I work with catchers, I work with infielders, I work with, with the hitters, I work with pitchers, I coach teams,
Yeah.
And then having somebody like big quality and big organization like you coming to me, I was like, this is a big challenge for me because, I want to fix him. I want to have him to have that, but I know that he has seen really other good trainers. That when it comes to me, the difference, like you said, from Palacios Development Program is just the technology, the K motion, the blast motion, the heat tracks, all that things that help the kids to understand better their swing.
Yeah, and like I said, we worked with him, his 13U spring season, 14U fall, to try and correct some of it. And it just, for him, it wasn't sinking in by coach just saying, hey, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. But as soon as he saw it, on the screen with all the technology, that's when I think it finally clicked for him.
That's what I said to a lot of the other trainers. Hey, show your kids what they're doing wrong. Yeah. And also show your progress.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a tracking system, that's when I moved to the Norte and I talked to George Charlin, I wanted to have a track system to see if I was doing something wrong or I was doing something good, because I have to be held accountable if I'm not helping your kid to succeed.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then it's not only the kids that they struggling. We got, you see the kids that they come through that door, that they are the top of the best, and how you can make an Aidan West better, how you can make an Anthony Badillo, better, how you can say MJ. That was the biggest. That's the biggest thing that having 7 miles per hour is crazy, right?
Yeah.
With that, and then how you make a Judah Sherlin, getting from 83, 84 to now 96, right? That's 13 miles per hour on a Vanderbilt commit. So it's really good, it's really. But if I don't have that tracking system to show them, I mean, I have 2 or 3 that they haven't done. They plateau. They're and I have to tell them, you know what? I'm not your trainer.
Sure.
Because I cannot say that I can work with everybody. Sometimes the system, we don't click. They suck too much. So we cannot actually develop them. But do we have any comments or questions?
I think there's audio issues. Nothing, no comments right now. We got some watchers, but no comments.
Are they listening? Can they listen to us?
I believe so. I can hear us when I watch it the live.
So if you're watching the live, say something. Jesus Christ, not this bad.
They're quiet tonight.
So what are they lurking and they're not saying anything? What the hell they're doing?
They all suck, right?
If they follow me, they should. That's the next. So what's next for US Prime? What tournaments are you guys playing this year?
So we're opening up local, just to get some game reps in, and then we're traveling to Virginia for Perfect Game. We're traveling to Nashville for Perfect Game. We're traveling to Ohio.
Oh, I'm going to Ohio. Yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Ohio's going to be that's going to be a good tournament.
Well, remember that's invite only.
That's invite only, and they pick the top 6 teams, as they call it, from the East Coast.
Yeah.
And it is essentially a round robin. You play every team across the weekend. And then essentially whoever finishes up with the best record, or, if you have multiple teams that are tied in record, it'll go runs aloud, will be the winners of that tournament. But there's no easy game that weekend.
Yeah.
You are playing hard competition from the time we start till the time we finish. And we're playing 5 games that weekend of hard competition.
Yeah, I know. When you mentioned that, I was like, hey, man, I'm going to go that weekend. I would love to watch the competition, right? To do some networking, meet other coaches, and then, who knows what's happening next year, right?
Yeah.
And the culture that we're building here with you, with API, all liners, we are, it's a good thing that we're not taking players from each other. We're making each other, stronger, right? Whenever we need help.
Yeah, and that's what it should be all about. It shouldn't be about, I don't like them because they're from, API or from O-liners or USA Prime. We, as coaches, we have one job, and that's the kids.
Yeah.
And that should be the only thing that's important, is working with them kids and setting those kids up for success. And if that means that I have to call Palacios baseball development and send the kid there, then that's what we should be doing as coaches.
Yeah, I understand that, and not a lot of people are seeing this with good eyes. They think that the old school way is just like, oh, if this kid's playing for you when he's free, he's trying to jump the boat and stay with them and all that, and they don't understand. It's just you're getting reps for my player. My player is making, some maybe a catcher that helps you catch just to rest on.
Yeah, but they
on
also
the team
may pick something up from you.
Yeah.
That works for them while they're playing for you on a weekend.
Yeah.
So having some different coaching as well, could benefit that player.
It's always about that. It's always about the experience, hearing other voices, hearing the same thing, maybe saying a different way. It clicks, with the player, and it's actually a lot better.
Yeah.
I know for the kids. So,
but we also do believe in a little bit of rest too. There's got to be some rest and recovery there, especially at 14.
we don't believe that. I'm from Puerto Rico. And we pray every day. We play 7 days a day,
Yeah.
7 days a week, 8 hours.
Yeah.
We don't get injured because of that. And arms, our pitchers throw 150 pitches, every day. And nobody complains on Game Changer and all
On
that.
Facebook?
Like, oh, no.
No.
They don't go to Facebook and they go like that. They play, all year round and nobody say anything. And our kids are the best of the best, right? But here in Maryland, you had to, rest for 4 months. You cannot play during the winter because it's too freaking cold, and but I believe on that also. Yeah, I think that they had to play multi-sports.
Yes.
I'm a multi-sport guy.
Yes.
I think that they had to play other sports to get those muscles and other techniques and other functions in the body. I think that really big on the gym. I think that they need to get stronger.
Yeah. But they have to
need to get further.
understand, proper technique too when they're in the gym. They need to have a trainer. They can't just go in there and slap weights around.
Yeah, it's a routine, and here in Maryland, that's you can find a good trainer, around the corner.
Yeah.
Everywhere, that's saturated. To be honest with you, hard is to find a really good, hitting coach or pitching coach with the technology to present that to the kid and to develop the kid.
Yes.
I think that all the trainers should be held accountable. They should be, taken care of, and your kid, when he's under your belt, if you don't see success, if you don't see that they are actually progressing, whatever that progress is,
Sure. Yeah.
whatever that progress is, because I can make a C player, a B player, can make a B player, a player, can be a player, elite player, but I cannot make a D player an A player. Sure. That doesn't happen.
No.
Often. So people have to be realistic with where you're son at
Expectations.
and the expectation that you have. So, do we have any comments from any of these lurkers?
Just confirmation that they can hear you loud. And
Who was that?
Mike Reyes, Ryan Shepard, Martin Tong.
Mike and Ton? Really?
Martin Tong, no?
Mike and Ton, that's always that. So that's pretty good. So thank you for listening. Thank you, Mr. Brian Fisher, for being with us. Mr. Greg Matthews, thank you for being here. We're calling them out. That's all we had for tonight, and God bless you. For everybody on TikTok, you all suck.